Breaking news, Donald Trump has just banned 75 countries from entering the United States.
Here's a fun fact. There are multiple countries from all over the world that are warning or advising their citizens about visiting the United States. Canada, Ireland, Netherlands, Belgium, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, France, the UK, Denmark, China, Finland, and Portugal all have new travel warnings and advisories for going to the United States of America. But why? Well, that's not hard to determine, actually. Reasons cited including immigration enforcement issues, visa entry, potential detainments, changing rules around gender markers on passports, and stricter border scrutiny. And here's a final chilling fact. This has never happened before to this magnitude. And it's not due to some natural disaster. This is American politics. Tell me both parties are the same. I dare you.
But show me the other party that got 15 allied nations to issue travel warnings about their own country. Canada, Germany, France, the UK, Australia. These aren't rivals. These are the ride or dies, the day one allies, and the reasons aren't crime or terrorism. It's the government itself. Potential detainments, visa chaos, changing rules. Countries are literally warning people about the American legal system. She's absolutely right to call this out. This has never happened at this scale. And pretending both sides would have led here is just intellectual laziness.
This has been viral information, and there's more where that came from.
2.3 trillion dollars is the estimated contribution to GDP to US tourism. So people coming into the US, bringing their money with it and spending in the US. It's one of the biggest contributors to the US economy. And it looks like Donald Trump and the Republican Party have introduced something which is probably the biggest contributor to no tourism in the US. Have you heard about it? It's ridiculous. So if you want to go to the US and you're in the UK or any kind of similar country to the UK, which is visa free, then you've got to give 5 years worth of social media, access to 5 years social media, email addresses and phone numbers of all your friends. I think I heard someone talk about you've got to give some kind of DNA sample as well. No thanks, Donald.
Nah, wait. 5 years of social media? Your friends' email addresses? Possible DNA samples? To go on vacation? Picture this. You're some guy from Manchester, you just want to see the Grand Canyon, eat a cheeseburger, maybe hit Vegas. And the government's like, sure, but first hand over every tweet since 2021 and your mate Dave's phone number. That $2.3 trillion tourism industry. Yeah, it's cooked. Nobody's going through a full background investigation to spend money in your country when they can just go to Spain instead. This guy nails it. And he's right to be shocked, because this is treating tourists like suspects.
Extra to select a seat to sit with your children. And other airlines that I looked, they wouldn't even let you bring a carry-on. You could bring a personal item that was small and they gave you the dimensions of whatever it was, but you could not even take a carry-on. The basic things that we used to have when we used to fly are all gone. What's the whole point of buying a seat if you can't even select the...
I cannot believe what I am reading. Too many people are skipping over this. Marco Rubio just signed a ban on all legal visa processings. That's insane. Legal visa processing ban. So people who have been here for 10, 15, 5 years, who have been going through the system legally, have just been shut out. And it's not just a small ban. 75 countries, not 7, not 17, 75 countries. That's almost half the world he just put a ban on. One man just put a signature down and put a ban on millions of people.
75. Just sit with that number. That's not targeted security. That's almost half the planet. One signature, millions of people who did everything right. Gone. Students mid-degree, nurses mid-shift, engineers mid-project, all done. And these are the legal ones. The people who filled out every Reddit form and waited in every line. The same people cheering this are going to be first to complain when there aren't enough doctors or when tech companies relocate to Toronto. He's spitting facts here. You can't cut off the talent pipeline and wonder why the water stopped flowing.
This means college students, tech talent, nurses, professors, people who are coming to shape the country to be a better place. And he just slammed the door shut. And it's not a temporary ban, it's indefinite. So the administration can hold this off for years. Millions of people. Had this happened in the 90s, many of you wouldn't be here today. If this Trump administration put this ban in place in the 90s, this country would look completely different. This was once a country that was diverse.
See, this is the part that actually breaks my heart a little. We thrived on diversity, a melting pot. And he's right, Silicon Valley? Immigrants. The medical system, held together by immigrant doctors and nurses. Agriculture collapses without immigrant labor. We've seen this. And what are other countries doing while America slams doors? They're rolling out red carpets for the exact same talent. Canada, Germany, Australia. They're all recruiting right now. It's like owning the best restaurant in town, firing every chef, and wondering why nobody's eating there anymore. He gets it, and the frustration in his voice is completely justified.
We thrived on diversity, inclusion, a melting pot. And Marco Rubio just put a ban on legal visa processings. That is insane. Do not skip over this headline.
Many people from travel ban countries are asking if they should move forward with their case, even though it's on pause from USCIS. And for a lot of people, the answer should be yes, especially for filing things like an I-751.
Okay, Cuba update. This morning started off with some pretty big news from Air Canada that they are suspending everything going down south. So the whole day was kind of like just trying to stay updated and see what was happening. Kind of had a feeling that WestJet and Sunwing were going to follow suit. It would be very weird that one Canadian tour operator would stop everything and then the others aren't going to. So now WestJet and Sunwing have also followed suit. So if you're with any of those tour operators flying down south to Cuba, everything's going to be canceled until, I think a lot of them said like May 1st, but it'll be like, they're just going to play it by ear and see. They'll address again in a little while, but right now they're not flying down there. So yeah.
So if you are a US citizen or someone who holds a US passport and you haven't seen the direction that the country is going or how other countries view us, let me share something with you that you should probably know. The US passport has been one of the most powerful passports in the world for a long time, except this year we are seeing a very big change in that. In 2023, the US passport was the 6th strongest passport in the world, and we could go to 189 countries without a visa. But now a lot of countries are starting to take that away from us. Brazil is going to start charging all US citizens to come into the country. Most of Europe in 2025 is going to make us get a visa that was supposed to be this year, but they pushed it back. And this year in 2024, the US is 39th in the most powerful passports in the world.
6th to 39th. 1 year. Let that hit you. International politics is a two-way street. You can't ban countries, insult allies, treat tourists like criminals, and expect your door to stay open. Brazil's charging Americans to enter now. Europe's adding visa requirements. That's not hostility, that's reciprocity. This guy clearly travels and he knows what's coming. Next year will be worse. More restrictions, more fees. The American passport is depreciating like a used car. She's laying it out clearly and honestly. If you're a seasoned traveler, you better start paying attention now.
Went from 6 to 39, and now we can only go to 151 countries around the world without a visa. So you need to remember this. If you're a seasoned traveler, if it's your first time traveling outside the US, you need to stay up to date with these visa requirements now, because I can guarantee you next year we're probably going to go even lower and less countries are going to let us in without a visa.
Hey, it's Joe from Georgia. Find something very interesting. You know, tourism in America is dropping crazily. And the reason being is, did you know how many countries out there, countries that have been allies of the United States for decades, are putting out travel warnings to their citizens to not come to the United States because they're afraid that these people might not be able to get back out of the United States without being deported to a prison? That's what's being put out there. And we're talking Germany, we're talking France. I mean, it is a list of countries that are putting it out there, countries that have been our allies for years. Did you know that the United States government and our State Department always puts out travel bans, you know, to places like Sudan, places like, you know, don't go to Russia, you know, don't go to any of these war-torn countries that are against America. Don't go to Iran. Don't go to the evil Axis countries, basically, and more because of violence. Well, now we're being shunned by countries that are telling their citizens that it's not safe to come to America.
Joe from Georgia just said something that should stop everyone in their tracks. America has always been the one issuing warnings. Don't go to Sudan, don't go to Iran, stay away from conflict zones. And now Germany, the country America helped rebuild, is warning people about America. That's not embarrassing, that's a complete reversal of the global order. And most Americans don't even know it's happening because they don't travel and they don't watch international news. He sounds genuinely shaken, and honestly, he should be.
I never thought I would see that day, did you? Did any of you really feel that you would see the day that countries would say that it wasn't safe to come to the United States of America?
Any U.S. citizen that refuses biometric digital ID will be banned from Europe. I don't know how much more proof you need, but at this point, your data is gold. It is the next Bitcoin. They want it so bad, they will not allow you into the country, into the continent, without you giving it to them. And this is only the beginning. Once America gets into it, eventually is going to get to the point where you can't come to the West or the East without the exchange of the data. Your passport is going to become just a scan of your fingerprints, your eyeballs, your facial recognition, your voice, everything. And again, this is only the beginning. This is them just assessing who's who. Once they have the database of, okay, we have every single person in here or close enough, now we can start using this to track them on a more in-depth level. Like the example I gave before, if they just so notice that you're in ChatGPT talking about a vacation to the Netherlands, right? Well, okay, we see that this person is going here, they want to do this, this, and that. Well, you can't go. And not until you pay up this fee or that fee, or you know what? We suspect you might be doing something, so we're going to put you on hold. If you want, you can pay an expedition fee to get it hurried up and assessed. And again, this is just an example, but this is going to happen. And this is only on an individual level. When it comes to businesses, let's just say you have this brand new software product that you're coming out. It's super unique, but you don't have a patent yet. You're still in the research and development phase. If you're putting all of your blueprints and your information into something like ChatGPT, and they say, you know what, we're going to just take it. Or better yet, they can regulate certain aspects of that same exact project just so you can't do it. For example, if you needed, let's just say, 50 gallons of magnesium, whatever, right, for any of your products that you're getting out there, they can say, okay, well, you know what, on a local level, on a state level, whatever, you can't process anything over the amount of 30 without paying this fee. Right. And the only reason they're doing it is because they know within the next 2 years, you're going to need that 50 gallons to get your product out there. And it's going to be a great product. But because they know that, they can start putting regulations and rules in place before you can even get anything done. And again, this might sound crazy. This might sound far-fetched. It might not make sense, but I promise you it's coming. And again, this isn't the fearmonger. This isn't to, make you afraid of technology, but it's more or less a wake-up call to look more into protective measures for technology that you're using right now, especially for your business. Per usual, I'm going to be going more into depth about this type of topic over time. So if you want to see more, make sure you follow and stay tuned for more AI and security content.
I have some breaking immigration news that I never imagined would be possible. European countries and Canada just issued a travel warning for the United States. Countries like Germany, Canada, Finland are warning their citizens against traveling to the U.S. They cite the risk of arbitrary detention. Experts estimate that tourism to the U.S. will tank by $22 billion. So my question to you is this. If Europe and Canada are warning their citizens against traveling to the U.S., do you really think this is the right time to risk traveling internationally if you have a green card or a visa in the U.S.?
$22 billion in tourism losses. For the great economy crowd, that's more than the GDP of some entire countries. Hotels, restaurants, airlines, Uber drivers, theme parks, all of that taking a hit. And who works in those industries? A lot of the same people who cheered this on. The hotel staff in Florida, the tourism workers in every major city, they're about to feel this in their paychecks. He's asking the right question. If your own allies say America isn't safe, why would a visa holder risk leaving and trying to come back?
Let me know in the comments below.
MAGA finds out that there is no place for them in Musk's A New America. Fired and replaced by immigrants, and this time no government benefits to keep the unemployed out of crushing poverty. just in time for the billionaires to buy up their homes and companies for pennies. Oh, so this is the America they wanted, huh? Turns out Elon's new America doesn't exactly have space for the MAGA crowd. Imagine spending years chanting, "Build the wall," only to get booted from your job and replaced by the very people you were so worried about. The irony is delicious. But wait, there's more. No government handouts this time, y'all. That's right, no unemployment checks, no food stamps, no nothing. Guess you gotta learn how to make bootstraps edible, huh? Because crushing poverty? Oh, that's on the menu. Spoiler alert, it doesn't taste like freedom. And just as you're adjusting to your new diet of ramen noodles and regret, the billionaires swoop in. You know, the ones who you swore were the job creators. Yeah, they're busy buying up foreclosed homes and what's left of your mom and pop businesses for pennies. You gotta love capitalism, right? But hey, at least you still got those "Let's Go Brandon" flags. Maybe you can use them to start a new tent city. Welcome to America that you voted for. Enjoy.
Hashtag leaving MAGA is trending right now. And while I have so much respect for people who can say, I was wrong, and by the way, welcome, I also want to say that just saying oops isn't going to be enough. Now you have to go out and find activist opportunities to help undo your vote. That's probably the biggest part of your awakening. Get out there and make it right.
For all of the teachers and healthcare workers, liberal teachers and healthcare workers that are saying that they're going to hide their students or patients from ICE, you do realize that is a federal crime, right? Actually, no, I'm sorry, excuse me, that's multiple federal crimes, right? Those are multiple felonies.
You know what else is illegal? Hiding slaves. You know what else is illegal? Hiding Jews during the Holocaust. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, why the entitled seems to just be getting their way, but it's not gonna stop us with our moral compasses in the right direction from doing what the fuck we want. Remember that.
Don't give in to the fear. Hold on to the truth and to hope.
We should all care about each other regardless of who we voted for. I'm sorry. I hope you guys can be better people. Good luck to you guys.
Yeah, you're only saying that because you're losing your business because you voted for Donald Trump. We should all care about each other. Who specifically were you caring about other than yourself when you cast your vote for Donald Trump? The fact of the matter is you voted for Donald Trump because you thought all of the things that are happening to you were just going to happen to other people. And now you sit here saying we should all care about each other. You're upset that people have come onto the internet to express their opinions about you when you got on the internet and said, I am a Trump voter who is losing his business, and you literally asked for these people to respond. And when they do, you're upset about that, when the whole reason you did it was to get a lot of views and likes and clicks to promote your business, which is failing. And now you're upset that you got exactly what you wanted, which is ironic because you're also upset you voted for Trump.
This right here is the energy I'm here for. No screaming, no insults, just cold, surgical logic. You're upset you got exactly what you wanted. That one line is the whole story. Dude voted for chaos, got chaos, made a video asking for sympathy, got the wrong kind of attention, and now he's mad about that too. It's layers of irony stacked on top of each other like the world's most frustrating sandwich. She breaks it down without flinching. And the point about people losing their lives in foreign prisons, while this man cries about his rims business, that's perspective you can't argue with.
We all have our own experience with Donald Trump. Personally, I watched hundreds of businesses and tens of thousands of jobs in my industry disappear because Donald Trump crashed the global oil and gas market. That's in his first administration, okay? I watched that, and then I watched him convince people in the oil and gas industry that he was the best thing ever for them and that we were going to drill, baby, drill. What's happening to those people right now? A lot of people in this country are going to be negatively impacted by this presidency. Not just you. A lot of people are going to be negatively impacted much worse than you. People are going to lose their lives in El Salvadorian prisons. And you think we're worried about your rims business? I can't predict what you will lose under this administration, but I can tell you this, you're probably not going to end up in a foreign prison somewhere because you have the one thing going for you those people don't. That pretty white skin. Yeah. So what's the problem? You're going to be fine. But the fact that you would ask for sympathy from people who are witnessing other people go through things 1,000 times worse than you when you literally voted for what is happening to you, and you expect Americans to give you some kind of sympathy, is just on a level I can't even imagine. I'm sure all this tariff thing will go away probably within the next week, and you'll be back to selling your rims. I mean, thank God, right? I mean, there's nothing more important than your rims. You say we should all care about each other. I don't want anything to happen to you. With that being said, I'm certainly not going to feel sorry for you because you made your choices. You made your bed, now you have to lie in it. I don't have to feel sorry for you.
Every policy, every ban, every cut, they cheered because they believed the consequences would land on someone else. And now this guy wants sympathy while families are torn apart and people face deportation to prisons. Nobody wants bad things to happen to him, that's real. But sympathy is for people who didn't see it coming. He saw the train, laid on the tracks, and is upset it didn't stop. He keeps it calm and measured the entire time. That's how you know it's real, and honestly, he said everything that needed to be said.
Certainly doesn't mean I want something bad to happen to you. That is just karma, doing what karma does. Thanks.
So we're boycotting America. Easy to say, far harder to actually do. America being the most capitalist cunty country of them all means that it has monopolized pretty much every industry ever. But there are ways to make sure that your hard-earned cash is not lining the pockets of the terrorist state. First up, stocks, ISAs, pensions. Stocks and shares, ISAs, amazing way of making money on your savings. However, a lot of them are tied to US companies, particularly BlackRock. BlackRock is the world's biggest asset manager. And guess what it invests heavily in? US defense contractors, surveillance tech, Israeli companies and settlements. If you want to make sure that your ISAs and your pensions aren't invested in things like that, there are ways to go about it, such as free trading. That's where you can choose what companies and what countries you want to invest in. You've also got Trading 212, which is an app that lets you exclude US stocks. The best option, because it still does operate in Israel, but at least you have a little bit more freedom of choice there. You can choose instead to invest your money in renewable energies or cooperatives. Obvious change that you can make is the streaming sites. Netflix, Amazon, Disney, Amazon Prime especially, or Amazon as an entity. Pure evil. Try and step away from it if you can. I would offer alternatives here, but honestly, I just think that we should just get back into reading. And then obviously just avoiding the big chains like McDonald's, Domino's, Starbucks, all US owned. Support local businesses instead. We should all be doing this anyway. Ethical consumption is not going to save the world immediately, but it is definitely a good way to start. And the best way to wage war against America is by using the thing that it loves the most. Money, money, money. Let me know your ideas in the comments.
15 countries issuing warnings, 75 nations banned, passport power crumbling, tourism collapsing, and the people who voted for it standing in the rubble going, wait, not me. But this isn't just an American problem anymore. When the world's biggest economy starts isolating itself, everyone feels it. Supply chains, trade, education, research, it's all connected. The world isn't laughing. They're worried, because when America breaks, the ripple hits every shore. Pay attention, wherever you are, whatever passport you hold. This affects you. Drop a comment, tell me what you're seeing from your country. Like, share, subscribe. This conversation is far from over. See you in the next one.